Yeah. Now, Naughty Dog is doing some crunch for Intergalactic the Heretic profit.
Yeah, so Naughty Dog is a studio that's kind of known for insane crunch culture. It shows in the games, to be fair, but they're known for it. Like Naughty Dog is known for like, yo, if you're gonna come work on Uncharted, Last of Us, Jack and Daxter, all those games had reported long as shit hard crunch.
Yeah.
This game is apparently the case. They are looking to get this game out in 2027. It looks like mid 2027. But starting in late October, the developers. This is reported by Bloomberg, which means Jason Schreier, which means it's legit.
Yeah.
So Jason Schreier has to say that late October required to work at least 8 hours a week. We're required to work at least 8 hours a week, though not more than 60 hours total per week. So the 8 hours of additional overtime, not 8 hours total.
Okay.
So they're requiring 8 hours of overtime, so 48-hour weeks, but no more than 60 per week to log into their internal timesheet. These developers have been asked to work from office 5 days a week, where it was only 3 previously. This has caused to have a scramble to find childcare and pet arrangements. The mandatory overtime is servicing and finishing an internal demo in time for review by Sony after said demo missed multiple deadlines. Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet does not currently have a public release date or window, but says they're targeting 2027. The report concluded that mandated overtime ended this week, and Naughty Dog will return to just 3 days a week mandated in office through the end of January, with a more detailed schedule to come. Most people are expecting it to continue well into next year up to the release of the game. In 2021, the studio, of course, addressed crunch. Evan Wells and Neil Druckmann talked to Game Informer about the issue, saying they wanted to prevent burnout. They didn't want to impose a one-size-fits-all restriction on employee passion and creativity. The same studio hired a number of producers specifically tasked with alleviating workload. However, many of those producers have left the company since. Some employees apparently already worked long hours to even just finish Intergalactic's first trailer for the Game Awards last year. Druckmann referred to Intergalactic as the most ambitious, expansive, and expensive Naughty Dog game ever made. What can I say? I can tell you we're in the thick of it. We're making it. We're playing it. We're firing on all cylinders.
I guess. What even is this game? We saw a trailer.
Yeah, so they did one trailer. It looked kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe space action adventure game. Like, it shows this chick chilling in a spaceship listening to like 80s music, and then she gets a report on a mission, and she flies to the mission and pulls out a beam katana type thing and starts fighting a robot.
Okay.
I don't know. I just have I think that like I don't know enough about what this game is to say if this even looks like it could be worth it.
Right, yeah, exactly. They haven't released enough.
I do know that the last game I put out, Last of Us 2, I was disappointed with the story. I thought the game played great. It was a technical marvel, how good it looked. That game still looks great today.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a cutting-edge game today. Its story was kind of a disappointment. It kind of gave... It felt like Neil Druckmann, similar to Kojima, does not have an editor anymore. Similar to how I always criticize post Metal Gear 3 Kojima for obviously not having an editor, it feels like post Last of Us Neil Druckmann has not had an editor, and that shows in Uncharted 4, though not as much in Uncharted 4, and Last of Us 2.
Right.
So, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's shitty, but this goes into Sony's bigger problems of, not getting games out in time, spending a shit ton of time and resources on making multiplayer games that didn't turn out, to have to rapidly pivot to single player games. Also, I mean, Naughty Dog, what, in the last year you like did Last of Us 2 for PC, and I'm like, why? What was the point of this, to spend resources on this? I guess they made some money off of it. They put it out in time for the TV show. They put out the PS5 remaster in time for the TV show, which, sure. I don't know, man.
I think if you're looking at 18 months of crunch work, like as a developer, I'm like, dude, this is worth it.
Unless you really care about the project, I guess.
You're right. If you see something in this video game, it's like, this is going to do something for just video games as a whole to have this game come out. Like, great.
Yeah, like if you think this is going to be the next Uncharted 2, where you're like, God, this is going to be a fucking benchmark for video games.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, dude. It's either that or, and there's probably a lot of people in the industry like this. I need this game on my resume so I can keep working and get better jobs.
Yeah.
Like that's a possibility too.
The games industry hasn't been great, so for developers.
So if you're getting a game, Naughty Dog's a big studio. It's proof that you shipped something. Like if those are the two cases where I would be like, yeah, okay, I understand.
Right.
Like you either A, think this project is special and amazing, or B, you just really need it for your resume.
And like, I mean, I can only wish the best of luck to what sounds like it's going to be hell for a good long while here for Naughty Dog. But the only thing I can think of looking at this is, we shouldn't be doing this anymore. You don't have to do this.
So it hasn't been in games, but I've managed projects at a software company now, like minor ones.
Mm-hmm.
And there are cases where it is, I don't want to say necessary, but like it happens. Like you need this thing done by this time for this reason.
Of course.
We just have, sorry guys, we gotta slam some OT. I have never been in a situation where it's 18 months straight of OT.
Jesus
or I guess you get a small break there for the holidays in January, and then it ramps back up in February.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, dude, and once again, some studios have built some amazing stuff off of this, and I think that no matter what the job is, there's going to be OT or crunch in a project-based industry. That's just the nature of the beast. If you have a project manager who gets it done perfectly every time, I want to meet them and find out what the fuck their secret is.
Well, and there are people who push it out.
Yeah. And there are delays, but then that's on your corporate structure, of course, as well, where it's just like, is Sony being like, hey, motherfuckers, we need this needs to be out by the middle of 2027. I don't give a shit. Which straight up
just points to kind of what we've been talking about, where like Xbox is collapsing, but PlayStation has put themselves into a position that I think they're gonna be struggling with.
I think that game development is like this very fine line between getting something, at least at this level. Indie games are a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like in AAA and even AA, it's this like fine line of it's a video game. We don't want to kill our staff, and but we also want to get this out in a reasonable amount of time and make money. And it's this like very fucked up balancing act that up until recently PlayStation has been very good at.
Mm-hmm.
Like exceptionally good at it, in fact. And that's and maybe they're finally having trouble with that just because games have gotten so big.
Right.
Like that is a real possibility. That is part of it. Yeah, I think that Xbox, like you said, the PlayStation has had their own issues. It's just their next door neighbor, their house is on fire, so nobody cares that Sony had some plumbing problems.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing I would say. I also think that Xbox, I think Sony's management team is a lot more realistic when it comes to deadlines as a whole, is what it sounds like, because the story that always stands out to me is Halo 2 was originally supposed to come out when it was entirely unready a year sooner than it should have been. Like, they wanted that out in November of 2023. The only reason that did not come out completely unfinished in November of 2023, or not 2020, 2003, sorry.
Yeah.
2003 is because Ed Freeze, the head of Microsoft Game Studios at the time, threatened to quit. He's like, this game needs another year. I will quit if you put this out.
Right.
And thankfully, his management team listened to him. So yeah. It's one of those things where it's a fine line of project management, man, and they fucking Naughty Dog seems to be having some issues with it. But also, maybe they're doing something crazy over there that might require it, I guess.
It's something that we don't know for sure at this point. And what we have seen is not as great returns, especially for Sony's first party, for all of this effort, like we saw with Ratchet and Clank's newest edition in Spider-Man. So
yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. And then you have the case of Nintendo, who's like, they don't crunch, but they also delay games for like long periods of time.
And they they got their first party titles that people love, and they're willing to wait for them.
Yeah, like it's. I know the industry really loves reoccurring revenue, as any business does. And Anthony and I have had a saying where it's like, what the best reoccurring revenue is? Loyal customers. That's really good reoccurring revenue. Yeah, it's a big fucking bunch of it all at once every 3 to 6 years. But boy, howdy, they come out, boy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right.
The Sony troubles continue, though.
Yes, and this is something this larger story is something we're gonna have to keep an eye on as time goes on. Xbox is continuing to do its crash/transition to just being a publisher, but PlayStation. But before Xbox has already made the full transition, Sony is already showing many cracks. We'll see how they handle it.
Including, and this, to be fair, this is a developer at Sony that publishes on everything anyway. Marathon senior art director has left Bungie ahead of the game's release.